Mwana nazo genti umye. Onye ọbụla noche my money my shine ebulie. Mana enwekwa kọọdị. Ọ ga-adịkwa bloody. You get easily na manaka ga-adịkwa muddy. I'm still sitting at the table of dawns, crown of thorns, sipping on crushed grapes and zoning off the horns. When I win, it's for the freaking east. Go to my wrist, hustle is beast. Put a lighter to your freaking list. My name is Bliss Oga Boss, and you must subscribe to Accelerate TV.
You were on top because you had, I think, Mr. Easy.
I had Jamolaya and Mr. I had Runtown on Allergic. See, I'm counting my money so I can't. I'm on.
Again. We really don't appreciate it.
They say I'm underrated, but I don't know. I don't think it is. I just think it will all come at its own time. Yeah. Let's shoot our show now. Let's go.
This is it.
Oh, are we rolling already?
Yes. Sound on. So let's just, since you are for time, let's just start from the beginning.
Okay.
Like you in Enugu.
Okay.
That kid finding like rap. You know, Lagos was like the hub. The hub.
Yeah, Lagos was the hub. Yeah, I grew up in Coal City. Coal City is Enugu State. 042 is the phone code for Coal City. So when they call it 042, it's just the old dial phones.
Yeah, we Sabian.
Yeah, it's 042. So same Lagos. Say Lagos was 01, I think.
Yeah, 01,
01, yeah. And so I grew up there. Born into a little family, small nuclear family, just me and my older brother. So from primary to secondary to University of Nigeria and Nsukka, my entire life was in Coal City. You know, so Coal City is very reminiscent of Ibadan. That's that kind of town. Civil service town, very chilled, laid back. The Okoyes know their Joffos know the Obis. So we all go to the same churches. It's either Anglican or Catholic. You know, then the Pentecostal faith hadn't blown up as much as it has today. So first time I heard rap music was my older brother, Muna. His name is Muna Chimso. So he brought back a tape and tapes, like a Maxell cassette, and just said, listen to this. You know, so it was a song by Eric B. and Rakim called Paid in Full.
Yeah.
Thinking of a Master Plan.
Yeah,
classic. So I listened to it and I liked it because I just like how people were talking over beats. Just talk. And then he's like, okay, there's more. This is another guy, his name is Heavy D, and that's another guy, KRS-One. And so he just kind of started introducing me to the rappers, Queen Latifah, so all kinds of people. So I liked it, and I started to write down the lyrics. So I'd listen to a song, I'd write down the lyrics and everything, just memorize it, commit it to memory. Just liked music generally, because my mom also is a music lover, so she had a lot of vinyls, records, and tapes and all. So from Fela Kuti to Yvonne Chaka Chaka to Kool and the Gang to how your crates were when you were growing up. So we just had everything, So, and then I moved into secondary school, and I just kept up with hip hop culture, just kept tracking. And then the Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, NWA era came, and
West Coast.
Yeah, and then the West Coast was very dominant then. So I had the Chronic from Dr. Dre, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome, So I just kept moving. The East then was very little hip hop, very non-existent. I think the first guys that ever had a hip hop song, like a rap song, was a group called the Nigerian Rap Syndicate, which is where my friend Obi-Wan came from.
Okay.
Yeah, so they had a song.
So when was he a rapper before?
He was a rapper, way before he started singing. So we met up when I was in SS3. I just finished my WAEC and I was just about to get into University of Nigeria. So we just hooked up and met. And he was like, yeah, I know you, I heard you rap. And I'm like, yeah, I hear your songs on radio. So we got into UNN and formed a little crew called Coal City's Finest.
CCA.
Yeah. Around the same time, Two-Face was in IMT, known as Lord Ellie. That was his name then.
Fun facts, I didn't know.
Around the same time, he was in IMT Blackface. Around the same time, Raw, then known as Nigga Raw. Yeah, but eventually Raw was also grinding. He was in ASUT, which was also another uni in Enugu. So we used to all hook up at shows and just perform, kick our verses, just, get to know each other. Then there was this other dude called MC Loaf. Yeah. He's late.
MC Loaf.
Yeah. So these are the godfathers of Igbo rap. These are the guys that fought for it and created. Then it looked like alien music because they were rapping over beats. We didn't even have original beats. We had instrumentals. So you go to Rhapsody Jams and record a tape full of instrumentals and then choose the ones you were going to do the shows with. I realized something about Raw and Loaf. Their flows were they were all in Igbo. Some Pidgin, then Igbo. So the crowd could relate. Every time we came out to perform, the crowd would love me, but show me a lot of calm respect.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, this one is lyrical, he's dope, man, he can juggle words in English. But these guys are streets. Like, I can hear them. It was almost like they were rhyming proverbially. Yeah. They were rhyming in, things that people could relate to. And then
I introduce myself.
Yes, I challenge you. Take one post, raw raps like a proper. Yeah. So like he talks like a proper Igbo man. So they always used to laugh at me and like, Eli, your flow, you sound like Nas, man. You sound like too technical. You're not going to sell records. I'm like, we'll be the judge of that. Yeah. We'll be the judge of that, because then I was listening. Then my hip hop spectrum, excuse me, now spread out. Then I got introduced to the Fugees, got introduced to everybody, Nas, early Jay-Z, early Notorious B.I.G. So the lyricism, I just wanted to be a proper MC. I didn't want gimmicks. And I didn't really care about whether it was going to make money for me because my parents kept drumming it into my ear. You went to uni. When you graduate, you're going to get a job. So in the East, it was not fashionable to be an artist. You had to follow the trend or follow some sort of career direction. Yeah. So when I finished from UNN, I studied political science and majored in international relations. That wasn't the course I wanted to study. I'm a law reject. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
almost to the best of us.
So I eventually came to Lagos for youth service against my parents, against their wish. They wanted me to stay back in the East, and I refused. And the one reason why I refused was I had friends that were living in Lagos that were in my class as well in UNN. It was always different. They were always ahead. I found out there was always something different about the thinking, and their outlook towards life and how exposed they were to so many things, just how their careers, it seemed like they had their careers all kind of worked out. They would go back for holidays or for strikes, and they'll probably just do internship here and there, do certification exams. And we were in second year. Me, I'll be out there in Enugu just chilling, just not really being as productive as I should be. So whenever we would hook up, they'll be like, when I graduate, I would like to work for Virgin. And I did an internship at Google, or I went to the wharf to hustle. That's how I came back with a car. So Lagos, and I'll be like, how do these things happen? Like, and I'm out there in the East, reliant on parents, reliant on just, then the music scene wasn't even popping then. So it was just when you could find pocket money here and there, you just go and go to the studio and record instrumentals and rap over them. It was just slow. The East was slow, and it was predominantly high life. So that era wasn't even a hip hop era, So I swore that I was never going to live in Enugu 1 minute after graduation. So immediately I got my degree from UNN. I got on a night bus. I went, showed my mom my result. And she said, you need to wait for your father, to come and see. I'm saying, I'm not waiting for him, because he said, then where are you serving? I said, I worked it. It's worked. Officially, I said, I tweaked it. It was tweaked to Lagos. I didn't want to take chances. So I went and I ended up here. Now, I came in with Ife Sinachi, night boss. Yeah. Experienced the robbery around Ore, which is normal. You understand? And by the time we got to Lagos, so I stopped at Beggar. I tell people that, it's very critical how you enter Lagos. It's not now like you come and they pick you up from the airport and then you do an Uber or a Taxify and you're chilling.
Stop at that Beggar.
Nah, I came in rugged.
See those 3 statues?
Yes, you see the 3 statues. They bless you, man, when you come in. So I stopped at Beggar. It was raining. 6:45 a.m. in the morning. Came down from the bus, super drenched. I didn't know where Yanopaja was. That was where the camp was. I started to GPS through town, through Bega, Omole, Ujodo, and eventually found my way to camp. And as I stepped into camp, I walked through the gate and I saw a multitude of people. I almost ran back. My number in camp was 7,057.
Damn.
That shows you how many people that came in before me. So that's how my life started, and from there, I went through trying to settle in, found a couple of people in camp that, so while we from the east and from the south side were in the Mami market turning up, drinking every night for those that drink a lot, some people were sneaking off to town to go and write aptitude tests to get jobs, So I used to ask this chick, like, why do you carry, what are these books you're carrying? What's GRE? What does it mean? She's like, no, these are aptitude books, so this is how, you get prepared for tests and everything. I'm like, okay, test. Aren't they going to give us jobs?
After NYSC.
I was such a greener. I didn't even know where to start. But so I just, joined a couple of my friends and we went out to VI, just to go and look around and drop your CVs here and there, And I found out some of them already had 3-4 jobs. They were just trying to choose which copper salary, pretty much, So, and then I started finding out the sectors. I found out the oil and gas sector, found out the telecom sector, found out the banking sector. So I did a lot of bank tests.
At this point, sorry to cut you short, are you giving up on rap?
No, I was rapping. I hadn't even started. I was just writing. I didn't even know. Yeah, I didn't know, but I just knew this was the place to be. Because even in NYSC camp, the soundscape in the camp was tribesmen.
Yeah.
It was Rough, Rugged and Raw. It was Shake Body. It was Remedies. They had a lot of records, Nigerian records that were banging. The only radio station then was Ray Power. It's official. And my friends, shout out to my Lagos friends again when I was in uni. They used to record tapes from Ray Power to bring back for me. So they bring it back. I'd be like, wow, this is how radio really sounds.
You just have that Ray Power.
Yeah, Ray Power. And they had all kinds of records, all kinds of freestyles, So all my icons, I could hear all the records that I wanted to hear. It wasn't that way, pretty much that way in the East. The East was very not that way. It just wasn't like Lagos. So.
Okay, so back to the test. You're doing a lot of bank tests.
Yes, I just went to law school. I went on to write a lot of aptitude tests. 3 banks shortlisted me to join because there's a lot of bank tests going on then. I tried oil companies. They wanted first class. They wanted people with first class, which I felt wasn't realistic. But then again, I was also in the social sciences. They were looking mostly for engineering and petrochemical engineering and geology graduates. So I now started off, wrote some tests. Now compared the amounts they were going to pay us, and I chose, the highest amount.
Yeah.
I didn't know jack about banking. I wasn't even in a business course in uni, but I just, it's political science, it's social science.
You say it was a law reject.
So I just went in. And they put me in an oil and gas department. So they put me in oil and gas and that was upstream, downstream, construction.
That's in a bank?
That's in a bank. A lot of banks have like oil and gas desks, So they tossed a lot of files. First file they tossed at me was like this, probably taller than me. And it was some company that was owing, I can't say the name on this show, but it was owing over $1 billion in, failed construction projects. So I was put in, it's called institutional banking. So I was put there, it was oil and gas, construction, and that was my baptism into banking, and that's throughout my copper years, that's what I was doing, studying credit memos, understanding how to lend, spent a lot of time in risk management, which is the lending machinery for the banks, credit and risk, then went on a lot of trainings as well. That's the thing with banking, it trains you. I don't know about today though. I don't know. But they send you to all kinds of trainings like balance sheet analysis, risk analysis, even loans, how to secure loans, how to recover loans. Then I moved around a lot while I was in the banks. I moved from oil and gas to human resources for a bit. Then moved to retail banking. All of them have all kinds of clients. All this while I was still writing rhymes. I was writing raps.
So how's that balance?
It was impossible now. It's not like today is a different day in music. And in our society, like now you can be a banker and come out and be like, yeah, I'm the banker that raps. You couldn't try it then. It was a friggin' taboo. It was like being gay. When they say like, okay, so it's time to come out of the closet and come out, I'm a musician. You couldn't even, I was too scared to do it, you know. But I kept writing music, just going to the studio, they'll pay me my salary, I would go to record a song, you know, and just kept grinding, just stayed on it until I got retained after 1 year. So my salary shot up, and then I had all the perks, upfront allowances, housing allowances, medical allowances, you know, so, you know, and then I faced the banking head on, went through a couple of banks, you know, and I did banking for almost 4 years, you know. I was an AM, yeah, between senior banking officer heading towards an AM.
You had to climb ladders.
I had to climb the ladders. I hustled the banking industry. That's what it was. I'll take all my accounts from this bank, run to this bank, renegotiate my steps, move. But
As that evil boy.
I was just hustling. I was trying to get more cake. But I mean, I did it, but deep down, I never really liked banking. I felt it was too robotic. I'm a creative soul. You put me stuck in a tie Monday to Thursday. I'm chasing clients, cold calls. This entire Oinjolai sector, like I know this place like at the back of my hand. I was walking to companies trying to, you know, just trying to muzzle in, trying to get accounts, you know. Today there was a pool car, tomorrow there was no pool car. So you would hustle it. Today you're on a bike, holding accounts, opening forms. If it was raining, you had the umbrella. If it was sunny, whatever it was, any weather, you were hustling, you know. So, but it made me dogged because people will keep shutting their doors in your face, you know, like, no, we have an account, we don't need any, we don't want you people, you people ruined our relationship when we had a banking relationship with you guys. So all kinds of feedback, you know. Sometimes you leave here and go to Apapa just to market, just to speak to a prospect, and you know, now you understand how the roads are going to Apapa from here. Sometimes you go to Ikeja, Allen from VI, and when I remember those days, those days were crazy, you know. So I think that kind of prepared me for whatever it is I became. I was also scared to come out and be a full-blown artist. I'll be very honest with you guys, because because there was no money, there's very little money to keep me in the game at that point. You know, and then rap wasn't even big. How was I going to do it? You know, so I was looking at the likes of Rugged Man, Tribesmen. They weren't rich. They were quite popular, but they weren't rich. And I kept saying to myself, I want to approach this from an ownership perspective. I want the big picture. This thing is too small. Just be the artist. That's not enough. You know, so I'm sitting in one of the banks I worked one day, and somebody comes in and says, I want to start a cinema chain. I can't say the name of the cinema here because they're not paying us to say that. Yeah, so, and then I wrote the credit memo for the cinema, and that cinema eventually blew up, you know, and I could see how right in this entertainment space, you could just find an angle.
Yeah, things were happening.
Yeah, things were happening. And I'm like, this is the kind of, you know, power moves I want to make. Like, I don't want the basic things, you know. But I just stayed in the banks up until the last bank I worked for collapsed under CBN regulations, and we had issues with CBN. So
the music.
No, music I didn't even. I was recording, and all along then I had met my friends, the Thoroughbreds. So Obi-Wan had come for service, and I told him go to a bank. So he ended up in another bank. So I had the memo. I'm like, don't even come here and don't grow a brain. Just come here and go to the bank. You understand? It would train you. So, and then I hooked up with my late friend, may his soul rest in peace. We lost him this year, B Elect.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, B was my senior in UNN, and that was the guy that schooled me on everything. Everything in hip hop was B. He showed me everything: DJing culture, graffiti culture, MCing, how to make a classic hip hop album, gospel rap. Every single thing I knew about hip hop was B. How to sample. B could tell you off the top of his head, no, that's a 1978 sample from such and such person. And you know, so B was such an encyclopedia of knowledge for music, not just hip hop, but for music. So I met B, and Obi-Wan came through, and Elajo Elajo from Style.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're all in the same crew. Then Elajo's sister, Amaka. So we're all in the same crew. We became the Thoroughbreds. So we weren't even essentially a group. We were like a collective of people that liked soul music, jazz music, and hip hop. So we just decided to piece ourselves together as one front. And then that's how Street Hop came. And then we just started to make records. I could fund it. I was in the bank. So I could just break out a part of my salary and just, do a video here and there, fund the studio sessions. But when I lost my job at the bank, I couldn't get another bank job so I was here as an AM and everybody wanted me to come down because they knew I was coming from a distressed bank. So they knew they were going to get me for cheap. And I refused, So after hustling and trying to change sectors and it wasn't working, I just said, I need to go to England and chill. Let me just go and chill for 2 years. No, sorry, let me go and chill for 2 months and just, get myself together again. 2 years became almost 3 years. Became almost 3 years, So
you just lived there?
Yeah, I lived there. Walking. It took a while, but I started walking at some point. I did everything in England. Forklifts, hygienic, industrial cleaning. I worked at the Marriott's at some point, serving, done everything. Health, care work, taking care of old people. Yeah. I am the H in hustle. Me, you're looking at me. Like that's why it's not. No, like I tell people, like I see artists, they do one thing, they get tired. I'm like, what? You haven't seen anything, So I worked in a coffee factory for like a year plus, That was when I became an Arsenal fan because I did some tunnel guard work at Highbury, at this old stadium before they moved to the Emirates, So just a lot of grind, just a lot of work. Those were really dark days in my life because I would look at myself, I'd be like, but I set these things up now. I worked really hard for these things. Why am I
doing this?
Why am I in a coffee factory doing industrial cleaning, driving some big scrubbing machine, wearing blue overalls? While I was away, the music industry was changing.
Yeah.
So the first time I heard a very, very radical change was Storm Records.
Yeah.
I met them at the Notting Hill Carnival in London, and that's the first time I met Obi Asika. My friends from the Thoroughbreds kept informing me, like, yo, there's this new label, there's Obi. Obi is on another planet. Obi supports our music, so, shout out to Obi Asika. He's like my big bro.
OG. Everybody's OG.
Yeah. So when I heard about Storm Records, and then I heard they had signed 2 rappers, Nato C and Ikechuku, I kept up with them. That was the era of SoundClick and MySpace.
Yeah.
So I could check out their music. A lot of things were beginning to happen contemporarily for Nigerian music. I heard, some of this duo called The Band and Don Jazzy had come back to Nigeria. They had this big record called Tongolo, and all that stuff there. Then this video making was changing. There's this new guy called that was a DJT. Then Elajo now said, my friend Elajo now said, DJT is so dope. He's doing all the mad videos. But you need to look out for a guy called Clarence Peters. That's the first time I heard Clarence's name. So I'm like, okay. And I just kept up, stayed in England for about 3 years, almost 3 years, and then
from 2 months. So.
Yeah, from 2 months. So I came back. My friends thought I was crazy. They said, why don't you do Bali? Just marry one Polish girl and just get paperwork, man. But before I traveled, I was engaged to my girlfriend then. She's my wife now. We've been married for 10 years now. This is our 10th year.
Love story.
Yeah. It is really, if you look at it that way. So my sweetheart, we were dating, and then so I told her I was going to come back, and poor girl had just finished service, was trying to get a job. She was serving in Kwara, and then I stayed away, and then I kept staying, and then I just kept moving because I was trying to hustle, gather money. You can never get rich in England, though.
They're collecting it back.
No. It's set up for you to work and give back. Work, give back. So if you like do 5-6 jobs, doesn't matter, So I kept in touch with Nigeria, kept in touch with my family, everybody, and then eventually I came back to Nigeria. I was happy. I was happy I was coming home, but I was scared because a lot of things had changed. I was never coming back to become a banker, you know, but I knew I was coming back to people that loved me. So I came back, you know, and I can't forget this filling station near the local airport. I can't say the name on the show. Just on your way to the domestic airport.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when my girl came to pick me up.
Sabiam.
Yeah. So she just came and I'm like, so I'm home finally. So I came back and I started to restudy the music industry. A lot had happened. Mode 9 had released his debut. Loads of stuff. Like so much music had come out. The industry was looking vibrant. And I looked at it and I said, where am I going to start? And I started to look for a job because I was trying to settle back in. It wasn't easy, you know. I remember the first time light just went off and I was in my friend's house. I was like,
PTSD. Yeah.
What? It's like, look
Yes,
at you,
remember.
forgotten, you know, because I'd gone into a certain lifestyle, a certain lifestyle that was, you know, structured. So you're coming from a structured society back into semi-darkness and it's just crazy, you know. So I stayed out here, started grinding, did another CV, started pushing, and then before you know, I got back into paid employment again, but it wasn't banks or anything financial. Then I decided.
What was it? What was the job?
It was hospitality. It was some big event place at Maryland. Yeah, at Maryland. Once you get to Maryland, it's around. It's massive. It was the biggest then. So I became an events manager there. You know. Yeah. So it just threw me open to events, and I started learning. And there were a lot of shows that were going on in their halls.
Yeah.
So I could sit down and look at production, look at sets, look at how, you know, you could shoot, go to post. You know, I saw things like I saw weddings, I saw concerts. Yeah, so I saw the back end and I was really totally thrilled about it. You know, then I moved from there after like a year plus, and I moved from there and joined a proper production company that was producing 2 massive shows in Nigeria then. Can I mention the shows? Sure. Project Fame and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Ultima Studios. So I went there as a production manager and started to learn. Started with the Millionaire set, you know, producing shows, and all this while I was still writing music.
See, I was gonna say, why would I just want to know when you still writing rhymes? That's what I was
I was writing music, but I didn't believe. I still didn't believe music was
give you what you wanted.
So I'd come back and I was like, okay, my thoroughbred years have been great, but I need to fend for myself now. So I started to write. So the first song I wrote was a song called You Go Wundo.
Yeah, You Go
Wundo.
Yeah, that was Kel and Suspect.
Yes.
It featured Kel and Suspect. That's the first time Clarence Peters shot a video. That video cost us 29,000 naira.
Damn.
To shoot, viral to the core. In fact, we shot it and the next day he won the SMVAs for Best Hip Hop Video.
I remember the video died.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're walking from like stairs upstairs.
I was coming from work. That's why I had the suit on with the Igbo boy t-shirt on there. I was coming from work. So I just, you know, got on and Clarence met up with me finally and he was like, yo, I have 2 artists I need you to collaborate with. I'll do the video. So I said, okay, cool. So Kel, that was the first time anybody saw Kel officially. And then Suspect was on the record as well. And so we did the record, shot the video and dropped it. The next day he won the SMVs for Best Hip Hop Video. It was a joke because the budget kept scaring me. I was like, how do you nominate this kind of video just next to, you know? But the beauty of it was the award was given to me by Nas. So Nas was in Nigeria for the SMVs. Yeah, so they gave him all the videos and he looked at it, was like, this is real. And that's how a totally unknown guy. I remember the carpet for that event, Muson Center. Nobody, just few media guys knew me from my thoroughbred years. But the moment they said, "Ill Bliss, you go wound," the whole hall went mad, and all the media people wanted interviews. That was my first baptism with how fickle media can be.
Yeah.
Welcome to the game.
Yeah. So I said, okay, you're going to be ready for these guys.
Nas handed you the award.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are
pictures.
I remember,
I'll send there are pictures all over the net for them. Give me the award and said you're a real one.
How's that feeling?
I'll be like, thanks, Exco. Thanks, Exco.
I think I died and woke up. Nas? I had Nas posters on my wall in uni from Illmatic to
Stillmatic
to even down to It Was Written, all the albums I've done. Even while living in England, I attended 3 different Nas concerts. One in Birmingham, 2 in London. So Nas, that's number 1, greatest of all times for me. I mean, argue with your list, whoever you are.
Yeah, one more of the Jay-Z family around here.
We'll get to that.
We'll argue after the show.
It's Nas and Jay. It's Nas and Jay because Jay is daddy now. Jay just shows you the blueprint on survival and keeping a balance and still being artistic. Nas is just raw.
It's just
Nas was just so intelligent. Like you could hear a Nas record and be like, nah, no, this guy is.
So did this influence how you were also writing? Because all your other guys were being more mainstream, but they said you were more lyrical.
Absolutely. The funny thing was, even my lyricism got better over time. I think I was not even the strongest lyricist in the Thoroughbreds. I was just a guy my lyricism just kept improving and improving. I just kept listening, kept writing. But I was a hustler. I was hustling the music, and when I came back from England, I said, listen, it's time to rebrand and re-strategize. Absolutely being an underground MC, which is making thought-provoking, serious hip-hop music, might not cut the check in Nigeria. Nigeria is a dance market. Nigeria is a lamba market.
Yeah, it is.
So what do? Re-Christian yourself. Okay, call yourself that Igbo boy. It's going to make them ask, really? And then I did. And then I did Okwa, that Igbo boy. Chilling in the club, buying drinks anyhow. That was a fast-paced record. And then people are like, yeah, I like that record. And I hated that record because that record was so...
You
could tell that.
It wasn't
It was gimmicky.
Yeah, it was
I always thought
a gimmick.
Ill Bliss was a hard-ass name. But that didn't match. It didn't match what I was hearing. I thought Ill Bliss was
my brother,
sick.
it was Survival, man.
Yeah, everybody had.
It was like Nas when he did Uchiwali.
Uchiwali.
And everybody was even like Jay too. At that point, he partnered with Diddy.
How many times Jay did records with Diddy? The whole album with Diddy flopped. His second album after Reasonable Doubt, But I just said to myself, I said, you know where you're going to. You must be believable. So I did that. Then I recorded my first album. My first album was called That Igbo Boy. It was a statement. I just wanted people to know, okay, so I'm coming from the East because that's my reality. That's my story. So I'm coming from Eastern Nigeria and I'm in Lagos and I'm trying to make it out here in Lagos. I'm hustling. But I'm not your typical Eastern artist. I'm not, because Easterners have, there's a way they look at the East. There's a way they look at artists coming from the East. They look at us sometimes like we're crass. They look at us like we're not polished. And my brothers also don't help issues because they don't speak enough, they don't engage enough. The music is big enough so that they've all made a lot of money, all live beautiful houses, but they don't engage as much, And I'm not saying every Igbo artist, I'm just saying some of the top Igbo artists have been kind of looked at as, okay, this one is just the music. He's not really, he's a brand, but he's not a brand that can engage you on that intellectual level, And I didn't want to be looked at like that because I'm a blend of art and commerce. So I just carved my niche. So when I did my first album, it was just transitioning. Then I met Terry G, and we had this record called Ayekbogo. That's another chapter.
Chapters day, but we get that you're pressed for time. But
it's crazy. I went to Alaba to give marketers my CD. So marketers listened to it. I was like, this thing is hardcore. Omanle, you no go sell. Omanle, you no go sell. So I walked to Alaba myself. Like I went through Ojo in a bus, got to Alaba, walked into Alaba market. I would never forget that trip.
We still Tijo then.
Tijo was the man. Tijo was the Def Jam of distribution then. So I went to Tijo. Tijo had just distributed Mode 9's album and mixtape. His hands were full. I went to somebody else. Then I went to some other marketer called Ike the Don.
Ike the Don.
That had just done Asha's album. Asha's debut. And had done Rooftop MCs. He went on to do Rooftop and went on to do a lot of albums. And Ike said, why don't you just, it's rap. I'm a rap guy, but why don't you just find something more commercial? something that the streets will understand and enjoy. This Terry G guy is kind of blowing up now. Why don't you just track him? I said, okay. So I hollered at Terry G, who wasn't even half as big then. Hollered at Terry, was living in Iju. Terry was like, okay, yeah, when I come to my studio now, I went to his studio, we sat down and I told him, I want a song called Enough Space. What does enough space mean in Yoruba? He said, Aye, Mogo. Yeah. I said, okay, can we do a song? Aye, Mogo, Aye, Mogo. I can't really speak Yoruba that well, but so Terry started to make a hip hop beat for me, kick, snare. I'm like, stop it. I have this kind of beats already. Yeah, I want like a commercial record and,
make we throw away.
And he just did that throwaway record, my brother, man. That song just ignited and just sold me, just took me into Lagos mainstream. And I was still working. I was working at the Who Wants to Be Millionaire and Project Fame set then. So I was always, we shot the video for Ayepogo behind my office. So I'll go do some work, run, go on set. It's the hustle. And then I did that first album dropped, Ayepogo dropped, it was good, I got some nods. The hip hop heads, the purists started to look at me like I was selling out, like I was not being real to the genre they know me from with the thoroughbreds.
Yeah. You were changing from the guy who Nas gave an award.
Yeah. What is lyrical?
You let Nas down.
You let Nas down. Yeah. You let Nas down.
Purists will learn in the end, but we get it.
Yeah.
We get it now as business.
Yeah, it was always business.
Yeah.
Always business. And then I moved on. And after that first album, and then I now met Clarence.
Was that when you guys linked up to create like the whole Capital?
Yeah, Capital and the Goretti company became a partnership, became a joint venture. And then Kel was recording her album, Suspect was doing his album and his own projects, and I literally rose in the game with Clarence because I saw him do videos for everybody.
If you name names, the only
everybody. So literally everybody. I saw him struggle with budgets, saw him struggle with like just not having enough, just grinding. That's a man that has paid his dues extensively in the game. He deserves everything he has today. Living legend, So, and then we moved on. So while I was at Project Fame, I decided I was going to start a management company. I wanted to manage artists so that I could even understand how to create artists.
Yeah.
You understand? So I started the Goretti company. My wife's name is Maria Goretti. That's we're Catholics. Right. So her name is Maria Goretti, her Catholic name. So I just took the Goretti.
Fun fact.
Yeah, and just started the Goretti company. So it became Capital Goretti joint venture, And then we went ahead. First artist I tried was, because I was working on Project Fame, they would hand, I got a brief to take the winners to manage. So the first winner was Inyanya. So it was managed by some other team. Then by the second winner, Mike Anyasodo, I got on board, tried to help design his brand, then the third was Chidinma.
He's KDK speaker.
Yeah, that's how Chidinma and I met officially. And then after her time, after her 1 year, I took her to the Capital Goretti joint venture and signed her as a proper artist, So, and then we started to make all them records, KDK, Emini Bola, all the records, everything about Chidinma was pretty much.
That's my favorite Nigerian beat, Emini Bola.
Emini Bola is mad.
All-time favorite
shout out to Legendary Beats.
Legendary Beats.
And shout out to DJ Spinall as well for showing me Legendary Beats. Yeah, because Spinall said, listen, Eli, the sound is changing. I met him at some hotel where he was doing industry night, and he was like, the sound is changing. I need you to meet two guys, they're brothers. One is Mute, one is Zay. I need you to meet them. They're flipping Afrobeat in a very interesting way. So I said, okay. So I hooked up with Mute, and Mute came through with a stash of beats. The third beat I heard was Emini Bola.
Crazy.
It was mad. It was crazy, And that's how we just started, creating. And then we created that alter ego for Chidinma because everything had been love songs and all. We just say, let's go gangster. Let's just tweak it a little bit. You understand? So that was me in my artist management. But just trying to overlook it so that, again, I would have people to run it. I never wanted to be an artist manager. I just wanted to understand the process. Then Raw hollered at me and said, there's this producer I need you to meet. His name is Fino. So
Fino used to produce.
Yeah, Fino produced Anamachi Kwano.
Fun fact. Here we go. Because this is the era I've been waiting for.
I didn't know.
This I did not know.
Fino produced Anamachi Kwano, came through from the east, grew up in Ababa. Ababa is next to Obiago, probably the roughest hood in Enugu.
I mean, Anamachi Kwano is the first time I heard Fino, but I never could have guessed that he would have produced it. Okay, so mind you, when Netusi and the guys were doing Igbo boy style and everything, they were doing that Igbo boy swag, but they were still rapping in English. So I felt like Anamachi Kwano ushered in that era where the bars, the hooks were fully Igbo, in Igbo.
Like Igbo.
Okay, because my favorite thing about...
Then they be Ote Igbo.
Yes,
yeah, come to think of it, Neto then we are
Sorry, I have a question. As followers that year, as viewers that year, there was something going on that we knew you started the Igbo Boy brand.
Yeah.
But we saw Ikechukwu trying to ride on that Igbo Boy brand as well. Was there something going on? Because we're kind of confused. We knew like, this guy trying to jack this. By the end of the day, they're all Igbo boys.
Honestly, this was all a vision that Obi Asika had. Obi looked at us and said, listen, we're all Igbo boys trying to get paper. So let's cartel up.
Yeah.
Let's cartel up. So let's do t-shirts. Like, yeah, Eli, so you have this record called That Igbo Boy, you know, Kills is Ikechukwu and has his records, even if his Igbo isn't as good as mine, because he grew up in the States.
New York,
yeah, but Kills is as authentic as it gets, you understand? He's a real one. Yeah. So it was about
coming together.
Consortium of Igbo boys. Yeah, NATO was our hotel, laid back, you know, Super C. You understand? He wasn't that as, you know, in it, but it was all us. We're all Igbo boys and we're all just trying to get it. So, and you know, Storm being the machinery then, they also propagated it through their videos, t-shirt, merchandise, and a lot of things, you know, and it was all good. It was really love. It's just that, you know how the fans get. The fans start to try to pitch your head. So Kills is trying to steal your stuff. No, that's not what happened. And for a second, I was never concerned. I never even wrote it in a record. It was not, that was fam.
Okay,
you know?
So you met Fino?
Yeah, so I met Fino through Raw. So Fino came through with a couple beats. I listened to his beats. Okay, they're all right. But I didn't work with him immediately. Fino used to back up for Raw. Like our footage is where we used to do shows in Unilag and stuff, and Fino was the backup. You know, like dancing behind Raw, like doing the Didi dance. You understand? Like he did a lot of work. Fino had been grinding out there in the East. He had been grinding in the East, producing records for people, and came to Lagos and had been a sound engineer for a lot of people. Timaya, Bracket, even produced records for them. So when I met Fino, I was now trying to transition away from that artist management phase and grooming artist into making a sophomore album. My sophomore album is called Oga Boss.
Oga Boss.
Yeah, so that is where Anamachi Kwano came from. So I looked at it, and Fino had been making records for me. I had like a flash drive filled with beats. And then we had another interesting guy called Douglas that was our sound engineer. Douglas is Douglas Chidera Agu, aka Runtown. You know, so that was the sound.
I don't know what's sweeter, whether it's the story or the way you just dropped it, because I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was shout out to Runtown as well. So he was there. He came through from the East with Fino. We're all 042 boys. So he came through and we were all in the same lab off Obakran, grinding, just making records. Douglas recording us and had his own records as well. I have songs with, like 4 songs with his hooks on, you know, and then he was trying to find his sound, not this Ote bougie, you know, Runtown that we have today, massively successful brand that we have today. So, and then we went on and Fino made Anamachi Kwano after I had rejected so many beats, you know, because I was trying to find the next sound. I didn't know what it was going to be. So it was coming from that Ayebogo debut album. I was just trying to find out, what am I going to do next? Then Fino now produced Anamachi Kwano and put that chorus on it and played it for me and just said, boss, just hear this record. If you don't like it, I don't know what to produce again. I've run out of ideas. So the next thing I heard was, I played it for my wife. She said, sweetie, that's your next joint.
That's that shit.
Yeah. She said, that's your next joint. I'm like, wow, what is this? How can you make Igbo sound this fly?
It was too fly, the sound, the kicks, that was a hard beat, man.
Clarence had it without the raps. Clarence was like, boss, you're back. Let's go. Let's do it.
And then that video.
That
video was hard as
that was the hardest hip hop video in the history.
That video was hard
bring the
as-
rap video in this country. I mean, that was us. That was Clarence at his finest. You understand? And everybody kept saying, "Oh, Ili, you're on cheat mode. You have Lionel Mercy on your team.
You did.
How can you lose?
You did have a
How can you lose? You know." So it was just beautiful. Just Clarence did the video. Fino was on the hook. So we sat back before the video, and Clarence said, "We can't do this song without altering Fino's brand." Fino was just some lanky, light-skinned boy, no hair, no tattoos, nothing. Clarence was like, Ili, what do you think we can do with this brand? So we sat down and created the Fino brand. It was created. Same way we created the Chidinma brand. Cut the hair, young Onye Konweno. You understand? Give her
Fino,
that.
you gave him the hair.
Yeah,
He
Fino gave
suggested-
him the hair, Chidinma, we took her hair, and just make her like a combination of Diana King and Lyra. You understand? With that Onye Konweno vibe. So that was us being in artist management
I see
mode.
it now. I see the Lyra.
Absolutely. I'm sure you can see the Diana King as well. She looked very well. Just short, coily hair. That was us just trying to, be not just A&R the music, but also build the brand so that when the brand comes through, you fix it. And then when I was making the Oga Boss album, I was confident because, okay, now you're Oga Boss, now you're self-made. You are a double chief. So that's where Oga Boss came from. Double chief. This is your second album. You're about to strike second time, and you're doing it independently. So I just decided, to do it that way. So Fino, we put that look together, designed, put the tattoos on him. Of course, he didn't believe because it was too bizarre, but he was willing to take that risk, which was one thing I liked about Fino. Fino was dogged. He paid his dues. Every dime, he deserves he deserves change back.
Yeah.
Fino was grinding. Like, he would stay in the studios, record music after Suspect and I would go home. You understand? That's how he found Ghost. He made Ghost Mode. The Ghost Mode beat was on the desktop, on the system in the studio for weeks. He kept telling me, boss, use that beat. I was like, no, I regret it. It's like Fat Joe and Candy Shop. When Scott Storch was giving Fat Joe some beats, like, give it to 50 Cent. I gave it to 50 and it blew up. So that's how it happened. And then after Anama Chikwano was mad. Fire, vintage cars.
Yeah, the vintage car. And the vintage car, the license plate said
He said Anama Chikwano. That was that precision, about the Clarence Peters video. I was in boss mode, briefcases, bodyguards. So I stayed in that code.
In between mannequins. There were some sick ass shots in that thing.
Standing in between mannequins. And then we have Weezy in the video.
Yeah, Weezy.
Oh,
okay,
God.
for your man, you won't blow like Whiskey, that and then you have Weezy. Show you money like this.
So, we've gotten a lot of love. Like, I have had so much love in this business from so many people. And then the video dropped, then the Oga Boss album dropped, and just caught fire. And then Fino went ahead to follow up with Ghost Mode, and Alabam, and the rest is history, really. So
No Ghost, No Glory album.
Yeah, the No Ghost, No Glory album came out and just blew up. I went on with my Oga Boss album, followed it up. My next album was Powerful. Powerful had Manamo, Manamadu, Bankalati, Manatu, That was my
What album had Nalo Ekene? Because that was my jam.
Nalo Ekene was Oga Boss.
Okay, right. That was
featuring Storm Rex.
That was my jam, Storm Rex. And that's the song where he actually said it that. More than the word Storm Rex. They said it that Storm Rex is next.
Yeah.
Beautiful voice, man.
Storm, her voice is crazy.
What about to have? She's still in music?
She lives in the States now.
Oh, okay.
She moved, but she'll make
She was
music
flaming
again.
then, but
She
Beautiful
was.
voice.
Storm is soft now. Storm is. I hope when she watches this interview, she
okay. So before
she just wants to chill, man. But she'll get back. She'll get back. She's so talented. She will get back. Yeah.
So before you came, I was going to ask about. We're going to ask about Odogwu Malaysia, King of Boys, how that happened. But now, hearing all these stories, I heard that you've even had your footing in production and all of that. I think it's clearer now how you would have just taken a chance to do that.
King of Boys.
Yes.
How did that come about? How did that?
Kemi, shout out.
I mean, I see it now after these stories.
That's my Wonder Woman, man. She's my Wonder chick. She's so driven. Kemi is from New York, So she understands our rap culture and everything. So
Kemi is a hip hop head.
I don't know. I used to listen to our
that's the only
radio show, Sunday on the Seaside.
That's the only chick that
She was like the only person I used to listen to.
That wears Wu-Tang.
That wears a Wu shirt.
That wears Wu shirt.
That's it can't get more authentic than that. You know?
She has something she does Wu Wednesday. Like she's such a purist.
Yeah, she is. So I mean, we're all fans of Kemi fans, and she's a fan of our music. So she hollered at me about King of Boys and said, Illy, there is a film you are going to be in. I said, you want to ruin my small rap career? Leave it for me. So she sent me the script July 2017. I didn't read it. Didn't even touch it. It stayed in my box for months till 2018 January. So I was going through my box, just deleting some things in January. I'm like, okay, what's this KOB PDF? And I opened it, was a script. I'm like, let me even read this thing. And I read the script.
Odogwu Malaysia.
I've messed up. They must have done this film now. Because Kemi tried to follow up and it wasn't looking like I was courageous enough to do it. So I just logged out. So I called her back. She was like, no, I'm about to start shooting in a few weeks. You haven't done it? I'm in. His name wasn't always Odogwu Malay. He was another name. So I told Kemi, this name won't work. So I called my boys in the 04.
Give us
042.
Give us
I said, where are you guys? They say, I call my G, MGB. That's my buddy from primary school. I'm like, where are you? Say, man, they're chilling, drinking somewhere. I say, you guys are always drinking. I need 20 names. Man, you need to see names now. Chidi Baltimore. Like Odogwu Malay. As in Maxwell Equipment. Like so many in the Igbo people, we're just crazy. And then I said, I like this Odogwu. So I took it to Kemi. I said, Kemi, choose. And Kemi said, I like this Odogwu Malay one. It has a ring to it. You know, Illy, own it. You see, that's what people need to understand. Kemi let us own our characters. So when you look at my G, man, Reminisce.
Did you know Reminisce was going to be in the movie?
Of course. No, me and Rams have been comparing. Rams is, I mean, when we say OG before IG, the first time I heard it was on the King of Boys set. You understand? Yeah. So Rams is like undeniably my favorite Nigerian MC. Reminisce is he's so real. He's so entrenched in rap culture.
That's what people don't know.
Yeah, like
Reminisce think it's because he's
leave all those Lamba tracks. Like Rams, you sit down with Reminisce and you know you're singing with a real one.
Yeah, OG.
Absolutely. He's even young OG, you know. But the truth is, Rams is a man. He's got 3 kids. So when we talk like men. You know, like fathers. That's how we break. That's how we converse. Conversation is.
Fun random opinion. I think Reminisce album Baba Hafsa, the one where he's in the Agua with his baby, is the hardest album art we've ever had in this country.
Album cover is sick.
Bro,
hardest ever.
But you know, Rams, that's what I'm saying. From the art, even like Reminisce keeps inspiring me. So when he drops a 5th album, I'll be like, Chapo, it's time do a 5th album.
Yeah.
That's the guy I look to. That's the guy I look at, and I'm like, and I love his music. I love the tenacity. He's a businessman. He knows when to give them. He knows when to do the lamba. He knows when to get back and go gritty. Yeah. He knows when to. So he's a hip hop guy from the heart. So we knew we were going to be on the film.
About owning your characters. Yeah. That scene where you're schooling him in Aguayoko and you're quoting proverbs. Was that all yours? That's in the script.
No, it was in the script. It was in the script. But Kemi would let us also improvise, but not away from the main message. You understand? That was my role in King of Boys is similar to who I am as Bliss. You understand? So it's just guy in his chains and in his heart, you know, Malay. Kemi told me from day one, you're not Reminisce's psychic. You're a Don. So it's almost like 2 Dons from 2 coasts having to come and do business together. So retain your Don status. So that's exactly.
I mean, that's what we always saw in the videos, like in the Nivola video.
Yeah,
where he's there with his newspaper, just chilling, and then they bring him the phone.
That was Stratford. I think 2 train stops after Stratford. We shot it in England. You know, that was us trying to just muzzle our way into England, just still being independent and stubborn. You know, just never really having a chairman, anybody to fund us, just being dogged about what we were doing. So clients will get the red camera in England. We'll get our friend Rosie to produce the shoot. We'll find a Bentley or a Phantom. We'll hire
that was a Phantom.
That was $4,500 for an hour. You understand? We'll do it. Miss KDK, you sit in the back seat. Suspect, you be in the jail. Illy, you read the newspapers. You know, so that was us putting our money together and saying, let's go, let's do it. You know, so those were really amazing days for Capital and Goretti. We're just doing a lot of things from our heart, you know. And Minibola got a lot of. We went ahead to do the remix with Whiskey. That was just Chidinma, you know, and everything. So I continued to push the Oga Boss album henceforth. After the Nalwe Kene videos came out and so on and so forth, and we just kept it going.
Okay, so about these things that I didn't know about you, that a lot of the fans don't know too. Because first of all, I'm surprised finding out you don't have an Igbo accent. You're actually not as people think. There are still people out there who think Bliss is Oga Boss, Igbo man, businessman, but you're so much more. You're very intellectual. You're very entrepreneurial.
Thank
Do you care about sending this message to, or do you want the fans to just take what they know? Or do you want them to see that there's a lot more?
No, I want them to know that there's always a lot more. But this is me. Like, this is Illy. This is not... Like, I'm talking to you guys now. We're off camera. That's the vibe you get from the show, you know, from it. I'm not your typical Nigerian artist.
Obviously not.
No, I'm not. You know, every time I get a chance...
Your rhyming pattern sometimes.
No. Yes, his rhyming pattern is very...
Yeah, going like this.
Yes,
and just go like that. People are just like, what's going on here? And I'm like, what's going on here?
Yes.
He's really right, because a lot of people are like, he doesn't have a rhyme scheme.
Yes. I think that's the only criticism.
Yeah, he's not
sometimes.
It's always the criticism. He's not punchlining enough. But it took me a lot of years to become confident in that thing that I was doing.
Yeah.
Because honestly, bro, I try as much as possible to rhyme from my heart. So when I write the music, as I'm writing it, you could picture it. Let me give you an instance. Show me any rapper out with this much audacity. My advice to the young, show more tenacity. Run the city, we seeing every single atrocity. Keep the F quiet, listen more and show ability. You're streaming it on Spotify or copying it on Apple Music. I'm just happy more airheads embrace the music. So excited for my life and my families. My little girl growing fast, wifey looking mad, Covey. So many ways they try to break my will. I put in mad work, they can't question my skill. I'm on a different lane, still zoning to Lauryn Hill. Do my ish differently, shout out to Johnny Drill. The lyricism nice, but the marketing is key. Approach it from an angle unbelievers couldn't see. Son, I never party much. Turn my hustle up a notch. So that's how I talk. You understand? That's how I talk. I'm a factual MC. I
didn't know that I needed to hear that. This is a verse I didn't know I needed.
I just use this verse as so that we could understand. That's how I am. Like, I don't conform.
Yeah.
But I'm also not trying to be too dogged about it, because I'm coming from an era that is very, very puritanical.
Yeah, we are.
Oh my God.
So where's this verse from?
This is from Philosophy. This is from a song called Osadebe, when they took Kenebe overall. It's reflection. Like, I'm an OG, and I need to talk to you. Like, I'm telling you, you're silly. You're not investing. You're buying cars. You don't own cribs. You're paying rent. You're not smart.
Yes, tell us, because before we started this, I was talking about the empowerment thing with students in university, with the beer brand. With
the beer brand I'm part of, we're trying to speak to the East. I'm from Imo State. My mother is from Anambra, so I'm a mixed race Igbo boy. You know, I grew up in Enugu. I know the limitations of the East. We don't have a lot going on there. We don't have a lot of media. I mean, radio stations exist, but we don't have a lot of visual television media. Internet culture is just beginning to grow. And we have so many universities out there. We have a lot of young Igbo people that are not clear-cut on what they want to do when they leave uni. And nobody to guide them. So I just said to the brand, why don't you just go into these regions and just inspire? Let's just not sell beer. Let's also inspire. Let's speak to the young ones. Let's tell them, okay, you know what? If you're engineering, top 3 students in mechanical engineering or civil engineering, this brand can help come through for you. You know, if you're in mass comm, this brand can come through for you, because they're marketing communications, you know, and working in the agencies, even working in the brands, you know, it's an idea that I had, you know, and I'm pushing it to the brand and they are loving it, and we kick off full blown next year. But I'm just interested in rewiring the Eastern youth the Eastern youth is not where I want them to be. Yeah, because the beer brand that I represent is very dear to the heart of Easterners. So we're just trying to make sure that we touch lives and not just sell beer, but also touch lives. Okay. So I'm more interested in the concerts and everything, the glitz, the glamour is beautiful. We're out there pushing the agenda with our music, but
there's so much more.
Yeah, there's so much more you can do to just empower the Eastern youths. When they holler at me, they're like, boss, you need to sign me. I need to come to Lagos. Everybody wants to come here. I mean, we came here, we kicked down the door.
Yeah.
I came through, Fino came through, Zoro came through. Flavor's been here for a minute and he's been coming through on his level, which is Africa-wide. You understand? We are the authentic Igbo boys. We came here and we created a way for ourselves. Lagos gave us an opportunity to eat. Yeah. Lagos changed everything that we thought we knew about music. Everything we learned and we are working with today, we learned in Gidi. You know, so.
So what's future? What's next music-wise? What should we look out
for? Chapo. Eli Chapo X. I got Chapo is end of this month though. You know me, I move like Beyonce. I just dropped the damn album, man.
That's how I saw the one with Bigfoot too. Just dropped.
Yeah, I just Chapo is a long time coming. This is my 10th project, but my 6th album because I have some EPs in between. So this is my 10th album. That's why it's called Eli Chapo X. X for 10. Yeah. Numeric Roman numerals. Chapo is crazy though. 14 songs. Niniola is on Superman. Johnny Drill is on Remember. Fino is on Opai Weka. Olamide is on 40 Feet Containers.
Oh yeah, we've seen the video.
and I think I'm leaving somebody out, but I can't really remember. But that's pretty much
that one is done.
No, it's done. It's mastered. It's ready. I'm just in a mood where I'm like, okay, Davido is dropping an album. This time. And then no, that's the thing about me. That's when I will drop the album. Right. Because bro, the hip hop community is independent of your Lamba can be going on. David is such a world artist, it's so big, but it doesn't distract. It doesn't distract you. If you buy the Bliss album, you buy it. I don't move like that. Earlier in my career, those things used to bother me, not anymore. You know, so the album will come out. I'm just waiting for my team. You know, we'll get together and we fix a date, we do a couple videos, we get it out. Yemi Alade is on Fever, yes. Yeah, okay. And Harry Song is on Focus, Hustle. So that's it. Those are the guys that are featured. It's just an album that just celebrates. It's always been about growth for me. So for me, I'm just here. I'm happy. I'm excited about how far I've come in the game. I'm thankful to God for keeping me in the game. A lot of people I came into this game with are gone and long forgotten. Yeah. So just being here, being able to still make music, just being able to just get love from you guys and media is just all I am celebrating in Eli Chapo. I'll do a listening for you guys, don't worry.
Right here.
I'll bring it through here. We'll just sit down and just chop it up and just and listen. And
Thank you very much for coming on.
Before you leave, when you were on the phone with Oscar, when Oscar was like, man, I just said something 30 minutes, I was like, oh God. But look at us now.
I know, because my guys, I'm sure my phone is ringing.
Look at us now.
Thank you very much for your time.
It's not a show you rush.
No, this is the whole truth. We need our time.
Yeah,
we had what we wanted to.
It's not a show you rush. And I have to be very honest, I think you guys are championing that next level in media. Because what it is we come here and on this orange couch or orange chair, we say a lot of things that you probably are not comfortable with or you can say. So it kind of reminds me of like Drink Champs.
That's the
just give us the alcohol and give us the stories, man. Give us the stories. Just the real stories.
Thank you very much.
I'm appreciative and shout out to Accelerate. You guys are top provoking.
2 hands once again, man. Shake him in 2 hands. Thanks a lot, bro.
Thank you too.
I'm more. So I'm more.
We do it for the culture. We do it for the culture.
And that's the whole truth.
The whole truth.
Big ups.